God in our hearts, doing amazing things.
Awesome, man. Give it up one more time for Sidewalk Prophets. Oh, they're so good. And I know, because I used to play in a Christian rock band, and I was good. I played the triangle. And I was like, woo! Ping. So it is. It's such an honor to be out with these guys. I love doing stand-up comedy, but my favorite job is about 20 years ago, I started a nonprofit organization called Being a Dad. And they're very expensive. But I remember when we had our first one, my wife went into labor at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, so I jumped up and I was nervous about being a dad, and I called the hospital. That was my only job, to tell them we were coming. But I was like, we're coming in, we're gonna have a baby, and they were like, calm down, is this her first baby? And I was like, no, this is her husband. And I know. And that's another thing some of you probably noticed. This is my real voice. And I'm supposed to be the protector of the family, me. First of all, I have the wrong body. I look like I went to a blood bank and forgot to say when. And I'm the only guy in this theater that can use chapstick as deodorant. And this is my real voice. So, anybody scared? What kind of protector am I? If you were a burglar breaking in downstairs and I was at the top of the stairs at my house, would this scare you? Like, you better not be down there. What is that? I'm the only guy that can stand at the top of the stairs and go, you better get out or I'll call my husband. So I hung up the phone and we raced to the hospital and we got in there, and the doctor already didn't like me because we'd met with him 2 weeks before, and he was trying to be helpful, but he was giving us advice. He was like, if the baby's crying, I know it's your first, so write this down. If a baby's crying, it's 3 things. 1, he's hungry. 2, he's tired. Or 3, he has a dirty diaper. And I'm a comedian. I couldn't help it. I was like, shouldn't dirty diaper be number 2? He didn't even laugh. He just turned to my wife and gave her a pamphlet on single parenting. And the nurse didn't like me because, well, I'll tell that story in a second, but we got to the hospital. So I didn't know if it was because the doctor didn't like me or because he really was in a rush. But he burst into the room and started shouting out doctor terms that I didn't understand. He was like, okay, I think we're ready. She's 80% effaced. She's 7 centimeters dilated. Her barometer pressure is 80/60. Expect a cool front to come in later this afternoon. Followed by high gust of wind brought on by her mother. And so, you can laugh at that. She's not here. So I know she's not here. She lives in Galveston, Texas. That's got to be like 14 hours by broom. So I'm sorry. It's probably faster. So, no, it is. Last Christmas I got her a Nimbus 2000. So anyway, the point is, I didn't even tell it. The point is, I didn't even know what kids look like when they're born. I was not ready for that. I thought they were pink and cuddly like you see on TV. They're goopy when they're born. Nobody told me that. I'm on the video going, okay, here it comes. It's a grub worm. Oh my God. I was expecting pink and cuddly. My first son looked like a veggie tail dipped in motor oil. And they were over there cleaning the baby off, and I was over there like getting all my stuff together, and they tapped me on the shoulder, and I turned around and they go, Mr. Smiley, here's your son. And I had never held a baby before in my life. I'd never thought about it. You guys have probably figured out why. Not a lot of women have been like, here, hold my kid. And I put my arms out, and they set my very first son. We have 5 boys now, but they set my first son down in my arms, and I looked down at him, and he just looked up at me, and he took his newborn hand, and he just reached up, and he just caressed my face. Like that. I don't know why you're laughing. But it was a great moment because there were a couple things going on. One, I could not believe that I was a father. I couldn't believe that God had blessed us and that I had a child and now I was responsible. So there was all that being worried about it and stuff. And I knew that I was going to need help and all that. And plus, it also became clear of why God had to sacrifice his son on the cross. I grew up a Christian. I read the Bible. My grandmother got me to read the Bible when I was young. She actually told me, read the Bible when you're young. It makes me mad. The young kids never read the Bible, and elderly people are reading it like crazy because, it's like they're trying to cram for a final. And that makes sense. And I read it when I was young, and I was like, it's not boring. I remember reading Doubting Thomas. I was like, he doubted one time. Everybody called him that. Like, that's pretty funny. One time on a date, I laughed and a snot bubble came out. I don't want to be known as Snot Bubble Bob the rest of my life. But the reason I share all this with you guys, and the reason I'm here actually on this tour, is because my kids are very fortunate to be born into a very loving family that cares about them. They're very lucky to have a church that actually cares about them. They're very lucky to actually have a community that cares about their future. But not everybody has that opportunity. Not everybody's born in that kind of environment, you know? It's a huge honor to be able to be on stage in front of all you beautiful people. And you, sir. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry, I can't turn it off. But it is an honor to be on stage in front of you guys tonight. But with that always comes responsibility. What are we going to do with these opportunities that we have? And especially as we come together as a body of believers, you know, what are we going to do? And so tonight, Sidewalk Prophets and I decided to take a little bit of moment, and we would try to help our brothers and sisters in Christ who aren't born into the environment that is what we have. They're not as fortunate as us. And so we wanted to take some moment. That's why I'm here tonight. Wasn't even supposed to be on the tour, but I started looking into this organization that Sidewalk Prophets works with, and I decided to get involved and try to make a difference, to try to stop generational poverty with a proven approach. And so we started working with this organization, and here's why I'm here tonight, because I want to ask you guys to partner with me. We work with an organization that's been around for 80 years. For 80 years, they've been empowering children to learn how to break the cycle of poverty. It's absolutely amazing. We have the answer, and it's just a body of believers coming together and doing something and hearing them. And so I'm actually here. This organization is called Child International, and again, they've been around for 80 years.